Buckeye Nutrition, FOM Chocolates, Nutro, Pedigree, and Tech, and Sound.
Embark on a culinary journey along the banks of the Upper Chesapeake Bay. Discover Cecil County, Maryland, where food and adventure bring people together. Pull up a chair. We're waiting for you. Visit us at discovercecil.com.
Sponsored in part by the Maryland Department of Housing and Community Development, implementing housing policy that promotes and preserves home ownership and creates innovative community development initiatives to meet the challenges of a growing Maryland. The Maryland Horse Library and Education Center in Reisterstown offers a special collection of over 5,000 equine-related volumes. Monthly events include panel discussions, author talks, and book signings. Visit marylandhorse.com to learn more.
This is the PBS app. It's ready for you whenever you want full episodes of your favorites, perhaps a little history or the real story, shows with heart or the latest news and docs. Even stream MPT Live. It's all there waiting for you, so download the PBS app now for everything you love and a whole lot more to explore. Stream anytime, anywhere with the free PBS app.
Hi, I'm Ken Burns. Our next film travels outside of America and deep into the mind of the Italian visionary artist and scientist whose imagination knew no bounds. Watch Leonardo da Vinci right here on Maryland Public Television.
And a very warm welcome back to this, the 2024 Mars Maryland 5-Star at Fairhill, presented by Brown Advisory. We're so grateful to our sponsors, and we're grateful to our viewers as well for watching, and we hope you enjoy the next couple of hours of top-class, high-class dressage. It is the 5-Star. Alongside me is Emmy Award-winning commentator. It is, of course, Sinead Maynard. Sinead, warm welcome to you. Second year back for both of us here at the Mars Maryland 5-Star. It is unbelievable. We got 2 days of dressage, cross-country on Saturday, the show jumping on Sunday. A great finale, always. But 2021, we saw a win for the amazing man that is Boyd Martin. Then it was Tim Price and Coupe de Coeur du Devin. And then last year it was Ireland who made history with Austin O'Connor and Colorado Blue. What a monumental win that was for Ireland. His first 5-star. We've got 11 combinations coming forwards this afternoon. It's going to be really exciting.
Well, it's been warming up all morning, and now we've reached the pinnacle of the day. It's very exciting. 11 combinations to come from all over the globe. It's happening. It's happening here at Maryland. It's happening in this booth. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, it certainly is. But before the dressage gets underway, yesterday saw the first horse inspection. So let's go back, have a look at some of the horses that jogged and caught up with some of the top riders.
Great to be back here. We've had some very good memories of being here at Maryland and Cecil County, and it's great to be back.
It's really something I'll never forget, winning this event a couple of years ago. Any 5-star is a big deal to win, so that's something I'll always remember. But yeah, it's just fun to be back. I haven't had Falco, this little horse here before. He's only done one 5-star, and that was flat, so this is his first one to climb a few hills and things. But I think he's got it in him, and he's in good form.
Well, I would like to be at the top. I would like to be in holding that trophy up above my head. But we'll just, we have some great horses here, and the first phase is subjective, and we have a serious cross-country track out there, and then the horses have to jump clean on Sunday. So you hope that you can give your 3 best phases, and if he gives his 3 best phases, then he will be there.
We've been here 3 times now and been in the top 3 times without getting the number 1 spot, so it'd be nice to tick that off the list. But it's a 5-star and everybody else is trying to do the same. We're against the best in the world, so we shall see.
Well, Oliver Townend, well, we will see. We certainly will. 3 times he's been here, top 3 as he said, but let's have a look then at the start list. Jessica Phoenix is first, fluorescent adolescent. Harry Meade, first of 2 rides for him, away cruising. Lillian Hurd-Wood, Emily Hamel, Cosby Green, David Doel with Galileo Nieuwmoed, 6th out of the 11. Buck Davidson, Grace Taylor, anxious time for her yesterday, held at the first horse inspection. Lindsay Traisnel, Alexandra, Knowles and Boyd Martin, Commando 3, last to go of the 11 on the first day of dressage here at the Mars Maryland 5-star at Fair Hill, presented by Brown Advisory. And dressage sponsors today, Quarry View. Well, they've built our judges' huts, and we're so excited to start the 5-star again. Okay, right. 3-time Olympian Jessica Phoenix is up first. She has ridden at 3 Olympics. She rode in Paris, in Rio de Janeiro and London back in 2012. She's been an individual gold medalist and a team medalist at the Pan Am Games with the great horse that she rode then in Pavarotti. This horse she rides, Fluorescent Adolescent, is a 16-year-old by Gaudi. The dam is Amelia, and the dam sire Alibaba, owned by Michaela Rojcik and bred by Kelly Piltz.
So this is a 5-star debut for this combination. Well, not the rider, but the combination. Yeah. Again, she was on the short list for the Olympics with this horse. So a lot of the horses that are coming forth here, actually this is their 5-star debut for Canada. They didn't run a 5-star in the spring in case their country needed to call them up. So this horse was on that route. And so it's really exciting to see her out here with some new horses. So interesting that Kelly Plitz bred this horse. So this horse was in the Roberts barn. Whalen, compadre of Jesse on the Canadian team. And so it has stayed close to home and close to Canadian soil. So we have seen this horse since birth, really.
It's an interesting story as well, isn't it? Because Hannah Rankin started this horse off. And then the lady that owns now in Michaela rode this horse in Fluorescent Adolescent up to the 3-star level. I've commentated on Michaela a couple of times, but Jesse's formed a really good partnership with this horse. They've finished inside the top 10 on their last 2 4-star appearances. That was at Bromont, and again at she finished 10th at Plantation Field just a few weeks ago. But she thinks a lot of this 16-year-old.
And so far this test is actually looking quite good. We watched it in the ring familiarization yesterday. It's a really exciting thing to do on a Wednesday, is to watch and see how these top riders prep their horses. And Jessie was giving Fluorescent Adolescent a really wonderful school. She was in here for quite some time. The horse looked great, but just getting used to this atmosphere, like we said earlier, it's not every day that in your school at home you have, thousands of people watching and banners and grandstands. So it's nice for the horses to get in here and get used to this space. But also during the ring familiarization, there's 5-10 other horses. When they come up from the chute, they're in here all by themselves. So it's a different experience on the day, even though they've been in this space yesterday.
And it was again very interesting, because we had a couple of riders that waited until the majority had left and came up here being very much on their own, and I think that is very important. And I think you know your horses and you know what works for them. Some horses don't like an arena familiarisation. Some horses thrive on it. Some horses prefer to be, as a few of the later ones were, on their own, because you're going to be on your own in this very large, capacious arena. Fluorescent Adolescence is, I would say, just running away with Jessica a little bit. He's getting quite strong, isn't he? You can see in the rain, even when she came across on that diagonal line to do the flying change, she's got a little bit tight in the neck.
Here she gets to use a little bit of this sideways movement that will hopefully supple him up just a smidge more as she moves into the second change of 4.
Yeah, it knows what's coming. So that change didn't quite work because the tension's there. It's nigh on impossible to ride these movements when you've got a horse that's as tense as a Fluorescent Adolescent is. I mean, she's a lovely mare, but she's just letting the whole atmosphere and her surroundings get to her, and another one that was late behind and is a little bit discombobulated with the way that the legs work themselves out. So she's got one more to do. Nice opportunity just to open up the canter.
Yeah, and this phase doesn't come as naturally to this horse. She's fabulous on the cross country, a real out and out jumper, and again debuting at this level where you have the 4 changes in the test and still a ways to go on that. But the trot work in the beginning, really nice. Little tension creeping in the canter. We've got one more change in to finish this up.
So she turns across the diagonal line, just watching for this, if she can just ride a straight one. And again, late behind in her flying change. We'll explain, we'll go through that a little bit more in some more detail, just to talk about the flying change and what ideally we're looking for, what the judges are looking for in a correct flying change. But Fluorescent Adolescent, she is 16 years old, but a little bit of tension just creeping in there, so that was a real shame. But it is their 5-star debut, going first as well, always a little bit nerve-wracking.
And these horses, I mean, they're the fittest they've been in their careers at this point in time, so coming in and doing this on the first day is quite a challenge. And Jessie, a professional as always, came in and left the arena no worse for the wear.
No, she will have learned a lot as well, and often, unmistakably, we do learn a lot more about our horses at these bigger competitions than we've ever really known about them before, because you don't know until you get into an arena like this. When you can't replicate this at home, you've got crowds, you've got big screens, there's so much. Also the cross-country fences, these horses will spot those cross-country fences, and it all adds to the enormity of what and also the task in which these horse and riders have to undertake. And it's a really big question and a big ask, because these guys know what it's all about. They get to the 5-star, they know that the next phase is going to be the cross country, and it's just exciting. There we go, there's the score, 163.5, 163, 165.5, giving Jessica Phoenix and Fluorescent Adolescent a score of 39.3.
It's a great shot here. You can see the length of time between the warm-up arenas. The stewards there guiding Jessie down there as they'll do a final tack check. But the organization here is just phenomenal, and the amount of communication that goes on between the warm-up arenas to make sure the riders get up to the main arena without being hurried, on their time. It's an amazing undertaking, this event, as we watch Harry Meade have a beautiful canter around. It's interesting, he's one of the first people that's really used the whole
arena,
space. A lot of people go in there and they're staying very close to the arena, and he's really gone out and shown the horse the whole space, making sure that he's going to be comfortable with the crowds that are showing up to watch. If you're at home and you can make it out here, come on out. It's a beautiful day, but we do enjoy you following along on the live stream.
We certainly do. Well, it is Harry Meade for Great Britain. Harry with 2 horses in the 5-star, 1 today, 1 tomorrow. And Harry, with Away Cruising, is the first of his 2 rides. He's had an amazing year this year. He's had an amazing career, finishing just off the top spot at the Burghley Horse Trials. He finished in 2nd place there. It was an amazing, in fact 3rd he finished there, amazing performance, 3rd and 4th with Cavalier Crystal and Animal Valona. But Away Cruising, this lovely grey, 17 years old by Cruise On, the Dam, Parkland's Princess, by Abel Albert. Eamon O'Flaherty was the breeder. Jane Deere, Charlotte Opperman and Peter Opperman own this lovely 17-year-old. Away Cruising can do a super dressage.
Well, that is one way to enter.
Isn't it just? Yeah. Harry, he's competed this 17-year-old all the way through their career. They were 20th at Badminton in the spring in the 5-star, having finished just outside the top 25 at Burghley the year before. This is a very nice horse. He's a very good horse. Harry's super in the saddle. Of course, Harry's father, the late Richard Meade, who represented Great Britain many, many times at championship level. Harry with wife Rosie, and just snuck under 10 marks ahead at this point, snuck under the 30.
Well, so far, lovely rhythm, lovely connection, very workmanlike. There's not the same tension we've seen in some horses this morning and starting the day that are with a little bit of a crisp new atmosphere. This horse looks like he's going in, knows the job, a very good partnership. Here we go into the extended trot. Should be slightly more than the first trot, which was the medium. And he shows that really nicely.
And rode right to the marker, which is really important. It's an HXF, and it's not after H. It's not quarter of the way across. It is from H to F, and Harry rode all the way across on that long diagonal, trying to claw back some marks. Just occasionally in the trot he loses a little bit of his rhythm, doesn't he? He's quite a big mover Away Cruising, and when you've got a horse that's quite big moving, when they lose their rhythm, it's very obvious. And here you can see in the shoulder in.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that you think it's a little bit more of a balance issue than a tension issue, and that's where, you know, when we think about the scale of training, your rhythm and your balance is really at the core of that. And you can see this horse is quite relaxed and quite knowledgeable, but every now and then just loses a little bit of balance. Super walk.
And Harry, you can see him, he's riding the steps, having to work pretty hard in the arena.
You know, it's a tricky move right there. It seems like it shouldn't be to the layman, but going from that extended walk to the medium walk without the horses anticipating what's coming next. You know, here they're coming into a halt and a rein back, so hopefully the energy does stay contained, but the rhythm should stay true from that extension to that medium. And be confident and positive into the halt. Earlier in the 3-star, we saw 4 steps in the rein back. Here we'll see 5 steps in the rein back.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a little, but very much in diagonal pairs.
Well, and it's amazing how you can be counting to 5 your whole life, and in that arena, all of a sudden can forget the numbers.
Oh. And I would just like to see Away Cruising a little bit straighter in the medium canter. Harry very much had him curled around the leg, and that was a good flying change. So we'll talk about this now. So when he goes for his flying changes, we want to look at the new inside hind leg, which must touch the ground first. Coming into the half pass. So if we watch now, we're going to, as we're looking at the screen, we're looking at the left hind leg. We want to see that come through first. And it did, and it hit the ground first before the front leg. So that was a very nice flying change. Again, could it have been straighter? So this is what we say. Was it a good flying change? Yep. Was it straight? No. So we're always wanting more. Never satisfied. And the hind leg, watch the hind leg. Very good. Extended canter.
Super there, and that's really what we want to see, is that bravery down the long side. We didn't see a lot of that this morning with the greener horses, but as we have these more mature campaigners, you feel really confident you can move up down that line, change the gears, bring them back, because that's what they're going to need to do on Saturday on the cross country.
Yeah.
And then immediately going into the soft stretch. Again, when they were riding this test, Marilyn Payne said, the riders are going to practice what we put in the test, so we must put something that is relaxing and harmonizing into the test so that the riders keep that at the forefront of their training.
Look at the right hind leg in this last flying change. Very good again. So very established in the flying changes, and that will really help the mark. When there's 4, if you've got a horse that brings tension into those changes, it's very, very costly in this test.
Well, and it's a little bit what you were speaking to before, is that, yes, for the higher marks and some of the work, you'd want a little more punch, a little bit more forward motivation in the working gaits. But the fact that the horse is quiet and relaxed, he was able to deliver 4 clean flying changes, which you'd be shocked how unique it is to have 4 clean flying changes in a test. So I think we're going to see, I don't think we're going to quite break into the 20s, but he should be thereabouts, I would say, the 30 mark.
Yeah, I agree, and it's great that Harry can bring the 17-year-olds to Maryland to do the 5-star. He had 3 horses at Burley. 2 of those were inside the time on the cross country, which was quite remarkable because there were only 3 inside the time all day back in the beginning of September. But Harry Meade, away cruising, is going to take the lead for Great Britain. We've got 2 riders from Great Britain today. That is Harry himself and David Doel, who comes a little bit later on. Let's have a look at the score then, and it's 31.2, 189, 10 marks difference there, 189.5, 188 and 179.5. So our judge at B is Xavier Le Source from France. Xavier, of course, was a judge at the Paris Olympic Games. Had Harry on 179.5. Valerie Pride is our judge at H, and our judge at C, the president of the grand jury, is Christina Klingspor from Sweden.
And you think that we talk about the differences in what the judges see, but that the judge at B is going to see a little bit of that irregularity in the rhythm that we saw at times, the lack of connection, whereas the judges at C and at H are going to see a little bit more of the straightness and the transitions.
Totally, and that is why we get a 360 view on our screen. Judges really only get a 2D version of what we see.
So should we get to give some scores as well?
I
we could
think
be the
so.
fifth and the 4th and 5th judge.
We could. So the next to go is what is interesting in this afternoon's dressage is that we've got the youngest horse is 11 years old. And that is last to go, Commando 3. We had a 16-year-old go first, 17-year-old go second. Now we have the 18-year-old LCC Barnaby with Lillian Hurd-Wood. This has been an incredible horse for Lillian. Of course, married Ryan Wood and has a fantastic operation in their enterprise of horses that they bring on through. But Barnaby's been brilliant, hasn't he, for her? He's not always the easiest in the dressage.
No, but this is actually his 10th 5-star start, which is incredible. I mean, he's just been so great, the partnership between him and Lillian, to always be there at the level. And Lillian's brought on several horses since she started Barnaby, but he's just always been here. And I think that is such a huge thing in Lillian's career, and a wonderful event to finish out a fantastic career.
Finished 10th here last year. And as long as he can just, we used it earlier, keep a lid on it, and when we use the word it, we mean his slight over excitement.
It's a nice
sometimes
job
in the
there.
dressage.
You know, it's interesting when we talked about watching how people use their ring familiarization yesterday. Lillian had a jump tack on, had a jump saddle on out here, you know, just making sure that he was staying relaxed, stayed out for quite some time, just trotting and cantering and getting him comfortable in this space. This isn't a horse that she needs to school the movements on anymore. He knows the movements if he doesn't by now.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's more about maintaining the connection and the communication, which she's doing a beautiful job on. Her last extension there was lovely. He's staying at the end of the rein. Lillian, such a professional, and going to use all her efforts to stay accurate in that shoulder in and to be technically correct.
And he's walking, and he can be like sitting on a hot tin roof.
And whereas, you know, this horse might not be your first choice to sit on dressage day after walking Ian's course.
Yeah,
this
he
is a
will
horse
be.
I would want to sit on
Absolutely.
Saturday because it is big and it is massive,
Yeah.
and Ian is not going out without a bang.
No,
so.
his last hurrah, he's going out on a high, that's for sure.
Yeah.
The word on the street is that it is, from all the riders, big. Good boy, Barnaby. Lillian very sensibly just waiting for him to finish. You know, being male, it's quite difficult to do two things at the same time.
So a little cautious there, I would say.
Yeah, but she wants to keep him.
She's
in
thinking
this
about
box.
the changes,
Yeah,
you know, and I think
exactly.
that's the tricky part about that movement there is that you're already thinking about the changes as soon as you've picked up the canter. So those first two movements there in the canter, you're really thinking, how is this going to set up
Yeah.
for the change? I'd rather get a 6 or 6.5 here and get a clean change than a 8 and miss.
Yeah. Well, it was late behind, unfortunately. But she knows him inside out. We're coming for another flying change here, looking at the new inside hind leg. And actually that one was much better.
Yeah.
So what she's doing is riding a super sensible test. She's not riling up the canter to then forfeit her flying changes. This is what you were saying. You know, let's stay on a safe, because if I get him too excited, and that was late behind, it'll still score a 5, maybe a 5.5. And again, she didn't ask too much.
Little conservative,
Yeah.
from what we saw with Harry's horse.
Yeah.
You know, and these riders are ultimate professionals, and they have their expectations set and their priorities set before they come into the arena. And you'll see some come into the arena knowing that they've got what they need to win the test, and you see some coming into the arena knowing what they've got to have a confident and happy horse at the end of the test. And I think Lillian's come in here with an expectation of keeping the horse at the end of the rein, keeping him confident, you know, managing risk like you had said earlier.
Yeah.
So that she has as low of a score as possible and can hopefully end on that score on Sunday.
Good boy. Good boy. Yeah, she'll be thrilled. She will be thrilled. Because he was a monkey here last year. I was just trying to think what score he did give Lillian last year, because I remember it being a little bit of a roller coaster ride. but she really, I mean, she rode such a clever test, didn't she?
Yes, I mean, at this stage, I mean, Lillian's such a mature rider, and she's not only a wonderful rider, she's an incredible instructor and coach, and she really has a crew of people around her, I think, and she also is one of the funniest people you will ever meet, so she's just a joy to be around. But she's produced a lot of horses and a lot of riders up to this level, and again, her partner in Barnaby has been so amazing to watch. He launched her career, and now she's very much in the middle of her career, and it will be a wonderful weekend for her.
Yeah, he had a 37 dressage last year. She had one pull down and clear cross country a few times. 38.6, and she goes second for now. 167, 170, 160 from our judge at B. So Xavier is much the lowest of our judges here, but he's got quite a difficult, as they all have. I mean, they've all got very different opinions and very different views, but Xavier, who is at B, has a much different view than the judge at H and the judge at C. And that's why we're just seeing that slight change and the slight difference in scores. So that goes second, Lillian Hurd-Wood and LCC Barnaby. It's Great Britain 1, USA 2, Canada 3, with our next to go. Corvette Airlines. Who wants to fly Corvette Airlines? And again, you're talking about sitting on good horses cross country in LCC Barnaby, who's there on our screen, just going to our FBI stewards to be checked over. This is another LCC Barnaby to Corvette. Corvette with Emily Hamel. He has been truly amazing. This is another 17-year-old, grey gelding by Corrido, and the Dam Tina Dam Sire Clearway. This was bred by Doris Schimmer and owned by the Black Flag Option LLC.
You know, and this has been such a cool horse to follow. I mean, it's definitely a crowd favorite to watch jumping. He was 11th at Maryland in 2023. He's competed at Badminton at Burley. He was clear around Burley. She's also was 15th at Lemuelin. You know, and interestingly enough, this horse was in Philip Dutton's barn for sale. And he was quirky and a little bit difficult, and that is actually how Emily ended up with the ride. She fell in love with him, and they were able to purchase him, and it's just been such an amazing horse for her career, and I mean, just a fantastic partnership. Emily has recently moved to Aiken, South Carolina. She was originally from Wisconsin, I believe, and then based in Pennsylvania with Philip for quite some time. And Philip's been so amazing with so many athletes in helping them get their start and then encouraging them to go out on their own. And that has really been what's happened with Emily. And now residing down in Aiken, South Carolina, and starting her own business down there. And she's got Corvette here, 17 years old.
Yeah, and he's a lovely horse. She finished inside the top 15 as well back in 2021 here at the 5-star. And as Sinead said, you know, he's been a horse that's taken her all over the world. Badminton, Burley, Lemuelin, and twice here at the 5-star. He has been an out-and-out campaigner. And my goodness me, doesn't he look well for 17. They all, I mean, these first four horses, 16, two 17-year-olds and an 18-year-old, they look so well.
Well, it's not only the riders, it's the vet team, it's the farriers, it's everyone that's involved in a partnership with these horses, is that they're treated like the well fine-tuned athletes that they are.
And of course the grooms who work tirelessly behind the scenes, and they're a pivotal part of the team that is a small army of people. What a unique choice of music in the background for Emily's test. I don't think it's not really walk music, is it? It's something like Guns N' Roses playing in the background.
He doesn't seem to be too affected.
No.
So we'd like him to lengthen his top line just a smidge more there so you could have a little bit of a change, but think she's having the opposite problem of some people. He actually looks quite relaxed and almost slightly behind her leg. For the bigger marks, you'd like him just taking her a little bit more, but this horse seems to be, likes to kind of stay in that scopy area right underneath her instead of, and he does that with the jumping as well, instead of just seeking out and thinking a little bit more forward. Encouraging him to keep marching on. And the walk is such a tricky gait because you want it forward thinking, but you can't hurry it. And just like the changes, if you have a little mistake in the walk, the score drops quite a bit. Here we strike off right into that right lead canter, a little hesitant to keep going. And if you think about where that is in the arena, it's the short side. The horses are needing to pick up the canter, heading into a corner. So just from a visual point of view from the horse, you're picking up a canter, asking them to go forward into almost what looks like a wall. So the riders really have to use the corner to shape them around to the inside. You can see Emily already thinking about this change. Needs just a smidge behind her, so we'll see how this comes through.
Oh.
I'd say that's croup high. And you can see where his tricky personality comes out here, but like, you know, some of our top human athletes, they've got a little bit of personality, and he definitely has a confidence about him that he just is who he is. So she's doing a really good job of just helping him get through this. But again, just to click more forward, thinking a little bit about where he's going instead of a little bit back behind him.
That was better.
Yeah.
But just losing a tiny bit of the quality of the canter. So collection doesn't mean slow, and what he's doing is he's just backing up on her a little bit. So coming now for another flying change, and again a little bit croup high, but it was a cleaner change than the first one in that direction.
It's looking a little bit better, a little more forward idea. You know, it's tricky, these jumping horses, the jumps themselves cause the forward draw. They're looking ahead, they're galloping forward to something. I think at times it can be a little confusing to them in here that they're supposed to be thinking forward, but also they're thinking back to what the rider's doing. There's nothing in front of them environmentally drawing them forward. So having that idea that you can go forward, you can slow down, but the idea and the thought process has to be thinking forward. And good with that final change. He already knows where the halt is. Yeah. You can tell that she's saying, keep going. Nice job here. Emily, the winner of our best dressed from the trot up. Got a beautiful pair of Dubarry boots. And there he's just relaxed on a loopy rein. You know, an old pro.
Yeah, he certainly is, and Emily has formed such a fabulous relationship with him. He's pretty much the only horse she's got competing at the international level at the moment. She's a very busy lady as well, but what a horse to have, and she absolutely adores him, and you can see that in their relationship. She was careful when she needed to be, she was quiet when she needed to be, and she put the pressure on when that needed to happen as well. We're just watching again the little bit of the slow motion. For those that are listening on the radios, you don't see that, so apologies about that. But we're just watching the slow motion replay, and that was the first flying change where he kicked out and went very croup high. When we say croup high, I mean bum high, bottom high. And the score 36.2 for Emily Hamel and Corvette. And that's a score of 174.5. 170 and 172.5. 36.2 goes second behind Great Britain's Harry Meade. Down the centre line, and it's first time 5-star for Highly Suspicious. Second 5-star for the lady in the saddle. She rode at Burley with Copper Beach, former ride of Buck Davidson. She now rides Highly Suspicious in their first 5-star together by the sire Russell, and this is owned by Clay and Eddie Green.
And I just feel like Crosby is, I'm very excited for her to be here this weekend. She has been over-based with Tim and Janelle Price. She has been riding like her pants are on fire. She looked phenomenal at Burley, and we are so excited to have her back on American soil, if only for a short little bit of time.
Yeah, based with Tim and Janelle. She was second at Mill Street with this horse in the 4-star. That's over in Ireland. And then second at Lanier at the Nations Cup. And that was a 4-star short back at the end of last month.
And I mean, so far, I think this is the test we've been waiting for all day.
Yeah, and you know, Cosby, she's gone in there not phased by the situation at all. You know, we look at and we were talking, weren't we, to Alison Springer at lunch, and she said, you know, the first two girls in the 3-star that are first and second, their combined ages are less than her age. She's celebrating her big 5-0 today. She's 50 today. And again, Cosby's gone in there. She's got Harry Meade, Lillian, Jess, Jess, Olympic rider, Emily, people that we've seen on the circuit at that top level for so many years. And Cosby's gone in there, 1 5-star under her belt at Burley, brilliant round with Copper Beach, comes into the arena, and it's exactly, as you say, exactly what we want to see.
Yeah, and it's very real. I mean, it's very true. The connection is really, really great. The confidence is really there. The relationship, I just jinxed her. But here you can see her just getting a little highly suspicious of that corner.
Oh, well done, you. Highly suspicious. But and it's a long way across there when they start walking or jigging. When in Rome.
So here we'll see how this goes. Her halt.
I think it's going to be a little bit tense. Just dragging the hind feet. So the rein back actually was better than anticipated, but what you're looking for is clear definition, clear footfall when the horses move backwards in diagonal pairs, that they're not dragging their toes, and unfortunately that's what he did. So it won't be massively undermarked, but it'll certainly knock half a mark off at least. Looking for the hind leg, very nice flying change.
And we're not seeing the tension follow through into the canter work. She was very bold in the first canter.
Yeah.
The flying change was beautiful, so she has every chance here to knock back down into the 20s, because this looks quite nice as we prepare for our second change.
And beautiful half pass. Not too much neck bend, because we often see that. Looking for the new hind leg, beautiful, and really nice and straight. And that should be rewarded handsomely from Valerie Pride, who would have been right in front of her.
So we've crept back down into the 20s with 2 changes to go. Nice.
Beautiful. We should get down to the 28s now with that flying change.
Really bold. That's the exciting stuff. That's what you want to be able to go into the ring and do. You want to be able to perform. Now, not everyone is at the point in their relationship or with the horse that they can do that.
Yeah.
But when you're sitting on a horse like this, when you have the relationship that they have and the experience that they have, when you have Tim and Janelle working with you every day to show you that ringmanship, and you can go in and do that, this is the time to do it.
It is. And, you've got nothing to lose. You go in there. Tim's here. He'll be helping Cosby as well. But you go in there, and if you're going to ride in an extended canter, very nice flying change. Again, just a little bit of a wriggle behind, but clean. If you're going to ride an extended canter, ride an extended canter. Go like a bullet out of a gun. Show the judges what you've got, that you can go up in the gear, down in the gear.
Nice.
and get every mark you can. Very, very well done, Cosby Green. Highly suspicious. And the only thing that let this test down was the walk.
No, super job there. You know, and like a lot of American riders have gone over to Europe for some stint to base over there for a little bit. There's just a lot of eventing. It really is. You can be competing at the top level against the best on Mondays, on Wednesdays, on Saturdays, on Sundays, right? There's just a lot of competition happening.
Yeah.
And also, I kind of feel like as a young person as well, you can kind of get out of a little bit of the spotlight and you can grow up a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're seeing here is that Cosby's gone over there, just put her head to the floor and gotten to work. And
It looks like she's smiling through her test as well.
I would be smiling.
Well, from one lady that spent time in the UK, Sinead spent many a happy time with the Fox Pits when you were based over in the UK. So you can very much speak from personal experience there. But Cosby Green, Harry Meade is leading at the moment. Cosby Green, 28.0. Whoa, look at those marks. 206.5. That's from Christina Klingsborg. 190, 186. Quite a big difference in marks from our three judges. But that gives her a score of 28 and goes into the lead. 206 down to 17. Quite big, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think that's the thing. You know, I was talking to Valerie Pride a couple weeks ago, and she said, you know, sometimes you look up and you're like, oh, I'm the judge that's the lower marking judge.
Yeah.
But she goes, that's as long as you stay on it,
yeah,
everybody's getting judged the same.
Exactly.
So it doesn't, it's as long as you just think, okay, at this point I have to be the mean judge.
Yeah.
And that's where you stay. So it's not, again, it's not going to change. These judges are very professional,
Yeah.
so they're going to stay on the marks that they're on, and it will be an equal playing field across the board.
It's 69.07, 70.56, 76.48 in percentages. 206 to 186 is the range. Well, now it is Great Britain's David Doel. David, he is riding Mary Fox, Gillian Jonas, and his own Galileo Nieuwmoed. This is a Dutch-bred 13-year-old gelding by Cramboel, out of the mare Shaloma and the dam sire Harkos. David, very experienced at the 5-star level. Nick Turner, who trains David. Nick, of course, was chef de keep for the Irish eventing teams for many, many years. A 5-star rider in himself. Ended his career with a brilliant mare at the 5-star level called Battle Annie. And it's David Doel coming down this centre line with the now 13-year-old Dutch-bred gelding, Galileo Nieuwmoed.
You know, and it's a big testament to the crew here at Maryland putting on such an amazing event that we've got these fabulous riders putting their horses on planes and literally flying across the ocean to just compete at this one competition for 4 days of competition here in Maryland. It's pretty outstanding, and a huge round of applause quietly while he does his test to the team here at Maryland. And how lucky are we to get to see such brilliance on day one.
Yeah, it is pretty amazing. David, who has ridden a number of horses up to the 5-star level. He's been trailblazer at the Lemuden 5-star a number of times. But this horse originally started off by Joy Dawes. David stepped into the saddle back in 2018. And no stranger to the 5-star level. Did their first badminton back in 2022, finishing just outside the top 5 in 6th place. And then went on to finish 2nd at Burghley last year. This is a horse well capable of a low 30s dressage. He's thereabouts at the moment.
Yeah, it's just a really pleasant horse to watch. He looks like he has a nice attitude. He's thinking forward. The rhythm's really nice.
David just adjusting himself in the saddle there, making sure that he sat right in the middle.
And that's a very confident walk. You know, sitting across there, he feels really good about that step.
So from the extended, this is where it's quite difficult, isn't it, as you were saying earlier, from the extended into the medium, walking back towards the in-gate and the warm-up arenas, and looking straight into the hospitality. It's quite a lot going on.
There's a lot going on there. David looks very calm and very confident in their combination. You can see his horse looking up into the crowd a little bit there. And David just getting his attention back, setting up for that right leg. And then we'll see how his canter work. If he's bold here, kind of gives us a clue to how these changes are going to come out.
And you see here how much straighter David was than Harry Meade. Away cruising was very much curled around his inside leg, but Galileo emerged much straighter. Flying change was a good flying change, nice and straight, clean. And he's just 2.5 marks off of the leader at this point in the test. If he can keep this up, it will be very good indeed. Flying change coming up. New inside hind leg. And that was late behind. Just the horse went a little bit sleepy to his aid. And another. Much better. And David, actually, he was quite clever there, wasn't he? Because he prepared, but he made sure that time.
He just waited for it. Exactly, and these changes could just be so costly. You can be winning the whole thing and then right at the end of the test just lose it all.
Yeah. And this is one of the most difficult flying changes coming up, because you let the horses stretch on a circle, you pick them back up and straight into a flying change again. So you have to make sure that you pick the horse up, get the balance back, get them sitting back on the hind leg, to then go across on the diagonal line. A lot happening very quickly. And here we go, the last flying change. And it was late again. And it was just the left to right change.
You know, and it's a lot like people. Horses, you know, aren't ambidextrous. They have good sides and bad sides, or if you think about a weak side and a stronger side.
Yeah.
And we just saw that a little bit there. But this horse is very well known for ending his weekend on the score that he started with. So there is a lot to do out there. I think he'll be close enough in the mix. Certainly those two changes being missed is a bit regretful, but a lot to like in that test.
Yeah, there certainly was a lot to like indeed. David Doel, Galileo Neumert. The last to go before the break. Do stay with us, because we're not going anywhere for the 5-star here at the Mars Maryland 5-star at Fairhill, presented by Brown Advisory and our dressage sponsors, Corey View Building Company. So, David Doel. What do we think? 34?
Yeah, I'm probably going to be around the 33.5, 34 mark.
Yeah. Yeah. So the 13-year-old, and here comes David's score, and it is 34.5, goes into third place, 175.5, 177.5 from two judges, H and B. Very close marking indeed. 34.5, David Doel goes into third. So let's have a look at the Brown Advisory standings after the first 6 horses. It is Cosby Green and Highly Suspicious, their first 5-star, out in front, 28.0. Great Britain then second and third with Harry Meade away cruising. David Doel, Galileo Neumert with Emily Hamel and Corvette in fourth. 5th, Lillian Hurd-Wood and LCC Barnaby, with Jessica Phoenix and Fluorescent Adolescent in 6th on 39.3. Still, though, we have Buck Davidson coming through with Grace Taylor, Lindsay Traisnel, Alexandra, Knowles and Boyd Martin. But it's all still to come.
The Mars Maryland 5-Star would like to thank Mars Equestrian and the Mars family of brands for their support. Mars Equestrian, Buckeye Nutrition, Ethel M Chocolates, Nutro, Pedigree, Antec, and Sound.
We invest in the present to raise the future. Brown Advisory, supporting the global equine community.
The Maryland Department of Natural Resources is proud to sponsor and host the Mars Maryland 5-Star at Fair Hill. Maryland state parks and natural resource areas provide ideal places to bring your family, friends, and horses. We are honored to welcome you to our trails. The Maryland Horse Library and Education Center in Reisterstown offers a special collection of over 5,000 equine-related volumes. Monthly events include panel discussions, author talks, and book signings. Visit marylandhorse.com to learn more.
No world is truly unchanging.
This is nature at its absolute finest.
Our daughter, she's gone missing. I should leave this alone.
But you won't.
He's doing things no one had ever done before, and that is astounding.
It's absolutely mind-boggling. Hi, I'm Ken Burns. Our next film travels outside of America and deep into the mind of the Italian visionary artist and scientist whose imagination knew no bounds. Watch Leonardo da Vinci right here on Maryland Public Television.
The Mars Maryland 5-Star, presented by Brown Advisory, is brought to you by Mars Equestrian, a better world for horses, pets and people. Brown Advisory, invest in the present to raise the future. Cecil County, discover Cecil County, Maryland, where food and adventure brings people together. Lemire, technically advanced gear for horse and rider. And Great Wolf Lodge, bring your pack together at the newest and largest Great Wolf Lodge, now open in Perryville, Maryland. Well, we are back here at the Mars Maryland 5-Star, presented by Brown Advisory. Woo! Dressage, day one. It's been so exciting. It has been amazing to watch. We've seen some incredible performances. But let's go and have a look at our 3, 2, 1. Great Britain in third and second. This man last to go before the break, David Doel and Galileo Newmert. A really impressive test. He wowed the judges, but a few mistakes and they were really costly. There's nowhere to hide in the arena. This man, though, he really did impress. Though at times, away cruising, just got away from Harry in the trot work, and the canter work really did look so super and smooth. It was a silky performance. But this lady, highly suspicious. First 5-star for this horse, and she lays in first place on 28.0. Highly suspicious is 14 years old. Cosby Green, second 5-star for her. She rode at Burley with Copper Beach. But oh my goodness, that is a very, very exciting combination for the future. Don't take my word for it. Let's go down to the dressage warm-up area, where our equally experienced Emmy Award-winning broadcaster Frankie Tierat-Stutz is down there, and she caught up with our leader, Cosby Green.
Cosby Green, your homecoming here, and what a start to your weekend. First, how it feels to be back in the States.
It is just beyond special. It just makes me so happy to see so many familiar faces, and it just feels comfortable and exciting.
Well, you've been across the pond with Tim and Janelle, and you look better than ever in your riding, and your family's here cheering you on. And for you, this Maryland 5-star, what it means?
It means so much. It's always been a dream. I've came to the very first one that they ever had, and I've always had my eyes set on it, and I've been in a program that's been able to make it become a reality and have the support of my family, so I'm just really happy to be here, and it means a lot.
Well, you went in there and absolutely nailed it. You're first to go in this 5-star division and going into the 20s, the first we've seen to do that today, and so well on your way. Have you taken a look at that track yet?
I have, yes. I looked around it last night, and it is absolutely stunning, and I feel like I couldn't have picked a better 5-star for first 5-star for my horse, and I can't wait to get out there.
Well, before you change gears, we're going to let you soak up this moment for just a second. So what it meant to go in there and be able to deliver in the dressage phase.
Pleased. I would say I'm a bit hard on myself, so it's what I expected, so I am pleased and just happy to have it done with and ready to get jumping, because that's what he really loves to do.
Well, definitely always a consummate competitor in Cosby Green, and a great start to her weekend, so we wish you the best of luck in the final phases here.
Thank you so much.
The Mars Maryland 5-star would like to thank Mars Equestrian and the Mars family of brands for their support. Mars Equestrian, Buckeye Nutrition, Ethel M Chocolates, Nutro, Pedigree, Antec, and Sound.
Maryland offers some of the nation's best schools, food, healthcare, recreation, and views. It's a lifestyle you and your employees can get behind. Every business needs balance. Find yours here in Maryland.
Sponsored in part by the Maryland Department of Housing and Community Development, implementing housing policy that promotes and preserves home ownership and creates innovative community development initiatives to meet the challenges of a growing Maryland. The Maryland Horse Library and Education Center in Reisterstown offers a special collection of over 5,000 equine-related volumes. Monthly events include panel discussions, author talks, and book signings. Visit marylandhorse.com to learn more.
This is the PBS app. It's ready for you whenever you want full episodes of your favorites, perhaps a little history or the real story, shows with heart or the latest news and docs. Even stream MPT Live. It's all there waiting for you, so download the PBS app now for everything you love and a whole lot more to explore. Stream anytime, anywhere with the free PBS app.
Hi, I'm Ken Burns. Our next film travels outside of America and deep into the mind of the Italian visionary artist and scientist whose imagination knew no bounds. Watch Leonardo da Vinci right here on Maryland Public Television.
Well, here we go. It is the last 5 riders in the 5-star here at the Mars Maryland 5-star at Fair Hill, presented by Brown Advisory. Quarry View Building Company, the dressage sponsors. They built our amazing dressage huts. You can see them in your picture in that wonderful picturesque camera angle that we have. And the sun has been shining all day. It has been perfect weather. We've seen brilliant dressage tests, and this is the Irish Horse Board list of the riders still to come. Buck Davidson, Grace Taylor, Lindsay, Traisnel, Alexandra, Knowles, and Boyd Martin, Commando 3. Now, what can Boyd do? Commando 3 does a beautiful test. Boyd always goes in there, meaning business.
Yeah, I mean, he started out the day fantastic in the 3-star, and he's going to finish us out fantastic. One of our strongest hopes to battle against the imposters from another land, our U.S. contingent. So we have Buck heading up to the Meade Arena now, and his beautiful thoroughbred, Sarakaima.
Yeah, this is a lovely horse by the wonderful, 13 years old. Sorokaimer is a International Stud-Book Committee of Thoroughbreds. He is an off-the-track thoroughbred. He raced a number of times, was considered that he wasn't going to be fast enough. Buck has had his issues with this horse and has really worked hard to put them behind him. I spoke to him recently and he said, you know, look, we all know it's a tough sport, but when things don't go to plan, then you've got to step back and look at the bigger picture and say, okay, now what's going on here? And Buck is so experienced and he rides so many different types of horses, and he's got a great and unique way of working with the thoroughbreds as well, because some of them are pretty sharp, and Sorokaimer is looking beautiful out there in this autumnal sunshine.
Yeah, and Buck's always thought so highly of this horse, and I mean, I remember vividly seeing Sorokaimer gallop across the hills at Great Meadow in Virginia for the first time, and I thought, what and who is that? It's just a beautiful horse across the country. You know, he's worked very hard on the show jumping phase, and I think we all stood and cheered when he had just one pole down at Kentucky. Oh no, he had a clear show jumping round at Kentucky and finished 6th, I believe, last year. So it was really fantastic. He finished 9th here in 2023.
Yeah, the Sire Rock Hard 10, the Dam Sangobazi pulpit in there as well, with Chris and Roberto in the breeding lines. This horse has jumped up to 130. Matthias Holberg and Buck jumped this horse up to 1m30 pure show jumping.
Buck doing a good job. He just has a tendency to get a little short in the neck. You just wish that he would just lengthen out and take a little bit of a breath, but hopefully he starts to do that as he gets further into the work of the test. You can see that Sorokaimer is quite serious about the job. He's working really hard for Buck, and Buck is doing a nice job navigating this test, but you'd almost like him to just take a little bit of a breath, show a little bit longer outline. And that's Buck just pushing his hands forward, encouraging him as we move into the extended trot. You know, and it's tough, Spencer. In the beginning, we have the medium trot and then the extended trot, and it's really hard to hold back in the first one so that you can show more in the second one. You know, or the question is, do you just go for it on both of them? Really pretty shot there. I think all of us love seeing a thoroughbred at the top of the sport. I think on Saturday a thoroughbred is a really wonderful horse to be sitting on. And very workmanlike test so far. I mean, again, I think this horse is a real trier. I think he's a real professional, and I think the partnership has just gone from strength to strength. And that's the type of outline we want to start seeing. If we could get that in the trot, we'd be in the 20s.
Yeah. This horse raced as a 2-year-old, and he raced over the next 3 seasons. He had consecutive wins in 2 races on the all-weather. That was back in 2015, 9 days apart. I mean, he really did go well, but he finished his racing career back in November of 2016. And competed in his first USCA recognised event in the January of 2018. And they've done an amazing job, these two. And he finished second at his 5-star debut at Kentucky.
They're just looking right into the eyes of some of our sponsors there. Buck did a good job of keeping his attention. This first change. Nice.
Finished 14th here in 2022 in the 5-star, 9th last year, and will be wanting to go even better.
He's still on a 33.7, so quite a competitive score. If we can keep these changes together.
I think I said he was second at Kentucky. He was 22nd at Kentucky. And another correction I want to make as well is we said earlier Rory Frangos. Now I want to apologise to Rory's parents because the results from Plantation are incorrect. So she did jump clear, she had one down and then withdrew. That was always the plan. So massive apologies to Rory, to also Jimmy Schramm, who is the trainer, and also to Rory's parents. Huge apologies. We'll make sure that we get that squashed, scratched and sorted out for the rest of the competition.
Buck doing a really great job, and I think Buck is one of the most brave people you'll ever see on that gallop down the long side in his medium canter. I think that's one of his favorite dressage moves. I think if anybody's watched Buck jump, that's one of his favorite things is extending down down a long gallop, and he gets to do that in the arena, and he's, I think, going to be very pleased with this test.
Yeah, very well done, Buck. Sorokaimer, this former flat horse that raced under rules many times, as I said, had 2 consecutive wins back-to-back, and started his eventing career in 2018, retired in the November of 2016 from racing.
And you watch him in the ring right now, and he's just got a really nice character. I mean, for a thoroughbred, he's very relaxed right now. His walk is beautiful. We saw that in the test as well. He was one of the best walks, I think, that we've seen, just relaxed and rhythmical and just a real professional. Like I said, you kind of get the impression he's pretty serious. He's into the job. He's taking it all in. You can see why Buck has spent so much time cultivating this relationship and really putting the time and effort into making him one of the top horses in the U.S. So we'll see where that score comes out. But still only 13 years old, so at this level, 13 is quite young. Like we saw, we started out with 18-year-old, 17-year-olds, and so this horse is really on an upward trajectory.
Yeah, and there's the score, 34.0, 180, 180.5, 174, third for Buck Davidson, and Sorokaimer, 34.0, and goes into third place.
You can see there, now you know what a good job Buck was doing, and what a professional this horse was in the arena, because walking out there is kind of goes elevator up with the neck, checking out the crowd, but over to the right is the cross country as well, and I think he's run here before. He's also been a racehorse, so can recognize the big, beautiful racetrack that's around here. You can see the stewards and Katie Strickland there, who has been such good help for so many in our sport. She's worked and groomed off and on for Buck forever, and so many other riders. She's like family here, so nice to see her out.
So the next to go, one of the younger ones, it is a 12-year-old Game Changer. This Irish sport horse, Gelding, is by the sire Cassidy, out of the mare Storm Chaser by the dam sire Titus Livius. Grace Taylor in the saddle, bred by Liam Webb and owned by mother Ann Taylor.
Practicing her changes outside. Looked pretty darn good there.
Yeah.
That's confidence. So she had a little bit of a scare in the trot up yesterday, as she did get sent to the holding box, but the horse looked perfect upon reinspection. So thankfully we all get to take a breath out.
8, 7.
She's going to make it, man.
6,
she's going to make it.
5, just 3, 2, 1.
Beautiful.
Whoa.
Mother Ann, a selector. Oh, added in a change there unnecessarily. That's unfortunate. Like I said, Mother Ann was a team selector for a long time, rode at the top level as well, so very much in the family.
Yeah, Father Nigel was also a member of the British team for many, many years. Grace now based firmly back out in the US. You looked at me funny.
I know. It's because you're funny looking.
Is she, she's based back out here with Mum, isn't she?
So a couple of costly little mistakes there in the beginning.
'18th at Badminton earlier this spring. Great clear cross country at Badminton.
And you can see here, I mean, the horse has got beautiful extension and tons of scope, and unfortunately in the beginning it just looked like a little tension crept in with that first change down the center line, lost a little balance in the first medium, and now it looks like she's getting back to the form that she's used to expecting. Get a little bit tight in the neck, a little short there. She did a nice job of keeping him from hopping into the canter. These 8-meter circles, and it's very important, the accuracy here. It's not only just coming in and showing the movement and the connection, it's being very accurate on the lines and not losing points. You know, you don't want to leave anything on the table there. You can just see him getting a little short, a little tight and behind the vertical there.
And this will be quite a long way now, won't it, with the extended walk ME and then E all the way across to F. He's walking well, but when she shortens the rein, or will she shorten the body? This is the question. And it looks like she has shortened the rein, and actually he's reacted really rather well to that, hasn't he?
Yeah,
and that's her knowing her horse.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that, because just watching, it looks like she's able to ride him.
Yeah.
There's just a few little balance issues going on, and a little, you know, he swaps the lead to catch himself or almost hops into the canter, but he still looks rideable. It doesn't look like she's a passenger there. You know, but maybe that's the bravery of youth.
Yeah. Can't remember.
I know, it's been so long. Very bold in that.
You'd expect that from Grace, though. You know, when you've got a mother in Anne who is hugely experienced and a great pair of eyes on the ground, and Father Nigel, you know, she's... and also with her twin brothers, she's had to fight for everything she's got, and you would expect her. She will go again. She'll be like bullet out of a gun when she goes for the extension.
You can see her there reach up and give him a pat, a reassuring pat, and you can absolutely do that. You're never going to get a penalty for being kind.
Wait. And it was a fairly clean change. Oh, and he's just done it again. But he just got a little bit tight. So she'll know what happened that time. Do I just sit quietly for an extra stride? She keeps looking at the quarters. I wouldn't be too worried about the quarters. I would be worrying about the quality of the canter. There was much better. And she did. After she looked over to the quarters, they were in the right place. Now concentrate on the canter and get the best possible. Look at that. Bullet out of a gun. Away she goes down that long side. Sit and close. Bring the canter back. One of the best we've seen.
Yeah, and it's been impressive because coming in with a little bit of that tension, she's really kept riding through the whole test, and I think that's one of the things. You want to be able to go in there and just keep riding through it. Don't become a passenger. And I get the impression from this horse he would be shocked if she became a passenger. So he'd be surprised and not know what to do. So she's done a very mature job with this test. trying to get every mark she can. Really nice change there, giving him another pat again. I love seeing that. You know, she's riding him assertively and confidently, but also rewarding him rightly so. Nice job.
Yeah, well done, Grace. Lovely test there from Game Changer. And it could have been a game changer because he came down that centre line. He did a flying change. She didn't let that hustle him, didn't let that upset the situation, then came into the medium trot. He got a little bit tight, a little bit tense in the first few steps, settled into the occasion, and then the second of the extended trots was lovely. This is that second extended trot. He really did push from behind, and he stayed much more level in that one, and he really did, didn't he? I mean, he looked actually more mature than I've seen him for quite a long time. And he seems to have definitely grown up, and he's come in here, he's embraced the situation.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this combination on the cross country, because the way she came in and kind of attacked this dressage test, I'm imagining she's going to have the same energy out in the cross country, which is exactly what you need to tackle Ian Stark's final 5-star.
I know. And I can't wait to show you the cross country on Saturday, viewers, because it is very, very special indeed. Grace Taylor then goes 4:34.1, 176.5, 176 and 181. There's Anne Taylor, mother, in the back of the picture, just by the stop sign. She's walking down this side of the fence. But Grace goes into 4th place, so very well done her for the USA. Of course, rode for Britain for a number of years, changed her nationality over to the USA.
You know, 34 with a couple of mistakes isn't so bad. You can see a nice low mark in there. So next, coming around the arena, Lindsay Traisnel, Bessay Rouge for Canada, known as a Dreamy in the barn.
Self-Francais 13 by My Lord Carthago. I've seen a lot of those out. Certainly that's the first one we've seen by My Lord Carthago. Very popular sire. The Dame Layla, the Dame sire Clyde de la Combe. Bred by Ghislaine Pitard and owned by Patricia Pierce.
No, and this is just a lovely horse and such a strong partnership. Lindsay's had this horse since it was 4 years old. Her and her husband Xavier lived over in Europe for quite some time, purchased the horse over there, and she's gone through, she's ridden at the Pan American Games representing Canada. She was an alternate for the Paris Olympics. And this is actually her first 5-star, which I found quite surprising because I've just known this pair for so long. But she was wonderful at the Pan Ams.
Yeah, she was individual bronze for Canada and part of the team that won the gold. We talked about that earlier. Canada they've got a great new team coming through, haven't they? Riders.
They really do. With chef d'équipe Rebecca Howard, who's actually competing at Lyon this weekend. That's the only reason she's not here. You know, they've really got a great group of selectors and staff that are really helping these riders kind of find their way back to the top sport. Because, I mean, look at this. With horses and riders that we've already seen here, I mean, they really could be a threat come LA. And this horse, quite young, has a World Championships for sure in its future, a possible Olympic Games in its future, and it's fast and it jumps and it's beautiful. And again, the partnership is so strong, and currently on a 30.2. Her and her husband and their 2 kids base up in Canada now and have a really wonderful riding school there. This is just such a beautiful horse, such a modern, leggy animal. Huge walk. And, you know, it's interesting here because I believe she did the 4 short at Kentucky, and this arena feels quite a bit more intimate than the arena at Kentucky. And some horses really go into the arena at Kentucky and they feel very at peace, but some get a little bit lost in that space. Whereas here, everything feels like a little bit closer, a little bit more like how it would in Europe, where the stands are they're almost on top of you. But this horse looks very, very relaxed, which is, again, just showing maturity at the level. Here, she's 29. Very nice in the 5. This horse can miss a change or two, so I'm hoping by saying that she proves me wrong and nails all 4 of them. Currently bumped up to 28.8. Nice.
Well, Cosby Green has just lost her lead at the moment by 0.1. Keep an eye on these flying changes. There's another one out of her way.
She was second at Sableview in the 4-star short just a couple of weeks ago. I think she might feel in a very kind and Canadian way that she's got a little late behind. She's got a little something she wants to show by not being taken to Paris. I think a nice consolation prize would be a podium finish here at her first 5-star. So here we come around to the final change. I think this is going to be what is the deciding factor. Spence?
Yeah, no, it was a good clean change. I'm just slightly holding my breath as she comes into this final part, because it's so close. 28.0 is leading. It'll come down to harmony.
It will. I think Grace or Cosby might end up just sneaking out in front, just as that little trot down to the halt, if the judges could see that from where they were. But it's going to be really close. I mean, a fantastic test. Really one change away from taking the lead over there. This is a fast horse. It's a brave horse. And really excited for this pair for this weekend.
Yeah, very exciting weekend ahead indeed for Lindsay and Basie Rouge. Canada firmly putting themselves on the map. At the moment, it is the USA, Great Britain, and USA. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
From our point of view, we just see Dreamy sticking his head up and asking for a glass of champagne from the sponsor's tent as he runs out of the arena.
I think they said no, he wasn't impressed. Second, 30.7.
You can see her little girls running behind her.
Yeah, 187.5, 185, 189. 30.7 for Lindsay, Traisnel and Basie Rouge. So it is now USA, Canada, Great Britain. She looks pretty pleased with that, Sinead.
Yeah, I think she's going to be thrilled, just kind of staying out of Allie Knowles' way there, but I think that is a pretty fantastic test for her. You know, I want to say she's normally trending between the 33 and 35 marks, so to be creeping down close to those 20s for, again, a relatively young horse, just 13 years old, first 5-star, some pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah. So we've got 2 left to go. Allie Knowles, it is, in the arena with Mooreswood. Irish sport horse, chestnut gelding by Ricardo, after the mare Princess in Arms, and the Dam Sire is Present Arms. Bred by John Doherty and owned by Catherine O'Brien.
Again, Catherine, such a big supporter of Allie, and so fantastic for the partnership that they've formed together. They've traveled all over the world, and this is such a fantastic horse. And I love the way she came in, just flying around in this extended trot, saying, come on, guys, look at me. She had a ride earlier in the 3-star and a newer ride in the 3-star, and now she's got her, I'm sure, one of her favorites of all time coming down the center line in Mooreswood. Former ride of Piggy French.
Piggy March, yeah, she showing her age.
Showing my knowledge.
Piggy March rode.
We were all someone before we were married.
I know, I still want to call you Sinead Halpin. But Piggy March rode Mooreswood, as well as Susie Berry. Susie Berry, of course, she rode Wellfield's Lincoln at the Paris Olympic Games earlier this year, and then she rode Wellfield's Lincoln at Burghley. Sadly lost him just after Burghley, having done Paris and Burghley, to an accident in the field, and he was sadly put to sleep. So that was a very sad story. But both Piggy and Susie had fabulous results with this horse, and Allie, she's just such a lovely rider to watch. She forms these wonderful partnerships. That's why Catherine is behind her as an owner, Catherine O'Brien. She's so supportive, but she's a grafter, this girl. Loves her job. This horse can do a very good dressage test as well.
Yeah, she's really leaving nothing on the table here, really putting it all into those medium and then the extension. Lovely outline, lovely frame. Now she's just snuck down into those 20s, which I was hoping to see forward and fluid into the half pass. Change of bend quickly into this left 8-meter circle and then directly into the shoulder in. Really executed that so smoothly. You know, and again, it's about starting and finishing each movement, but also keeping the flow through the test.
Yeah.
This horse, it looks like Allie can really go into the arena and ride a real professional. She's not having to kind of dance around the subject.
No, it's that rideability, though, isn't it? Going in there with confidence. Confidence breeds confidence, but if you're sat up there feeling tentative, oh, little mistake, if you're sat up there feeling tentative, the horses know that, and some of them will really play to that. But keeping the activity, keeping the excitement, making these horses pop more than the last one. So you're standing out from the crowd is a really hard thing to do. It's arena craft. It is something that these riders are now very well trained in, having a look up into the sponsors, seeing...
We've seen that a few times.
Yeah, but there are people moving around. They're trying to stay still, but you know, as we saw just recently with Lindsay, whose horse in Basic Rouge wanted to have a drink of champagne, so too Mooreswood was having a look up there and having the same idea.
Just popped through that change like a little pony. Canter a smidge tighter than the trot. The trot work was really lovely. Let a little tension creep in that halt and rein back. Maybe got a little distracted, but Allie's doing a good job of getting Mooreswood back on track and back to the business.
Very nice. Straight. Change coming up, watching the left hind leg. That's come through first. It did. They're just a little bit, for me, a little bit tight.
There's just a little tightness in the step.
And I would like to see more openness in the flying change. He's just a little, you know, he just jumps together. We'll watch another one after this stretch on a circle.
Yeah, and it's interesting, you know your horse's strengths, right? So you try and play to the strengths, and you could see when Allie came in, even around the arena, she was really going for that lengthening and medium trot, really showing off the trot of this horse, because the canter is good, but the trot is better.
Yeah.
And so really starting out, making the judges notice her, making them like.
Change, good.
She can get the changes.
Yeah.
So just maintaining the canter, maintaining the changes, getting those done, and then really proving it in the trot work, so that she can keep that score as low as possible. Boom.
Boom. Yeah, very well done to Ali Knowles and Morswood, the 16-year-old by Ricardo, Irish sport horse, former ride of Lee March, and Susie Berry. Susie, of course, was working student for Piggy for many years, now based on her own. So we've got one left to go.
Wow, that just flew by.
Didn't it?
Yeah. Oh, this trot work is so pretty. I love this sequence that Allie did here. It was so beautiful, from the half pass to the change of bend right into the shoulder end, just so smooth, so well ridden. And you can just see it's just a little tight, a little short behind, but still clean.
Yeah. So the one left to go is Boyd Martin.
I'm very excited for this.
Commando.
It's a beautiful horse.
Just stunning. I saw this horse recently and was, where have you been hiding this one? But Ali Knowles there, 32.4. Goes into fourth place, 184.5, 183, 180. All the judges had her in fourth place. That is the whistle, which is quite loud, just to tell everybody. There's Ian Woodhead in the blue jacket and the woolly hats, left of screen. He helps so many riders. But we'll see another familiar face in just a few seconds, if we do get a chance of seeing her, as Ali Knowles, I think he's spooking his own shadow. Another familiar face that's been, there she is, just walked left of screen, is Bettina Hoy. Bettina, who's been helping Boyd with a number of his horses, along with Boyd's wife, Silva Martin, who was our test rider in the 5-star. She rode a lovely test. And Bettina has been helping Boyd for a number of years, and they actually work all these trainers, but especially with Boyd, in Bettina and Silva working really well together with him. This is a lovely horse, Commando 3, Holsteiner, 11-year-old, youngest that we've seen in the 5-star here this afternoon. Connor 4-8 is the sire. The dam sire, Amigo. We go down and we go back, we'll have a look at that breeding in just a second. But owned by Yankee Creek Ranch LLC. Joachim Siepka is the breeder, but he's just such a lovely, lovely horse. Very, very impressive performance at in Pennsylvania at Plantation. This is when I saw him first. Did a sub-30 test there in the 4-star. This is his first 5-star, and it's a different ball game.
Yeah, this horse a reserve for the Paris Olympics with Boyd. He also won the 4-star long at Morven in 2023. He was second, right behind Will Coleman and Diabolo at the 4-star short leading up to Paris. And yeah, everything about this horse just says champion. Nice rhythm, holding a little back, so he's got the extension to come.
So we go back in the breeding. We've got Sylvester, we've got Cour de la Brière on the sire side, from the Connor side, Casal, Catino, Cour de la Brière. I had a very good horse that I have entered by Cour de la Brière, great jumping sire, and he is a very special horse, this, and already on a sub-30 on 28.3, but this is where Cosby Green was on a 25, so there's still work to do. But as we know, we've seen it, it happens, when the mistakes come, they're very costly. Now, Boyd will be looking for what we would call, in inverted commas, a clear out. Oh, he's having a look. He's having a look.
Well, it's coming, and that forecasts a little bit what we'll have to look for in the walk. We've seen it in a few horses. When they come into that medium walk from the extended walk, they just look down that line. We've got a lot of people watching.
Lots of people.
And it just catches the horse's eyes. So he stayed polite. But will we see that come out in the walk work?
But that's much busier than I've seen it all day.
Well, that's where Boyd Martin's fan club. You can buy jackets, shirts. Yes, and you can buy posters with Boyd's face on them.
Can you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I might have to go buy one.
Yeah. So here we take a breath. Still slightly behind Cosby's test with a lot of canter work to go.
But only just.
You can see
he's
him starting to look around.
This is where Boyd will now try and intensify the conversation down the rein. And he'll be just feeling the bit, just working the rein. He's done amazingly well, I have to say, all the way across there, considering how he was in the trot work. He's ridden that brilliantly. So it's like playing the piano down the rein and just keeping them interested, keeping them focused on you as a rider.
You know, and that's where he's just tipped ahead of Cosby as her mistakes came in that walk work.
Yeah.
And you can see at the top, it's these little places. It's these little points where you can win or you lose the win.
So the medium canter. He's got a lovely expression, this horse, as well, hasn't he?
Yeah.
First of the flying changes.
Beautiful. And you just get the sense, too, that the horse is very aware. He's looking around, but that's a little bit who he is by nature. He's behaves, he keeps it together.
But what doesn't help either is on the left side, he's got what we call a walleye. So you can see the white around his eye, and that makes it look like he's looking even more. But actually, he's not. He's not looking any more than any other horse. But because of the walleye, it really emphasises the direction that he's looking in. But he has got that slight side to him, hasn't he?
Definitely. Nothing that beautiful doesn't have a little edge. That's what they say about you, Spencer.
I clearly don't.
So quiet. The whole place is watching this, and it's so close. Look at those scores.
It's this has been a lovely test. It really has. One more flying change after this stretch, and that's a really nice stretch. Nice long rein. Pick the rein up. No change in the canter rhythm. And the final flying change. So we're watching now the right hind leg, the one furthest away to hit the ground first, and did.
Beautiful. And he rode beautifully.
Yeah,
he organized and he moved up into the change, which really got the expression.
He dare not, though. You know, Silver, having ridden to Grand Prix level dressage, should be watching intently.
Well, I don't know who I'd be more fearful of, Silva or Bettina.
Or Bettina, I think Bettina. I said, is that going to be our new leader? Is that going to be the test we've been waiting for, saving the best till last?
I'm going to say yes. I think there were no mistakes. It was beautiful.
I think the harmony, I think we will. He was on a 29. I think we're going to see a 27 point.
And look, still you see him looking around, but again, very comfortable with looking around. And that's what we talked about earlier, about the horses really understanding that they can look around and not be frightened of what they see.
Well, we hope you've enjoyed it on the radios.
The rodeos?
On the radio. I'm just gonna.
There's also a rodeo here. It's called the 4- and 5-year-old championships.
Oh yeah, that's going on, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's still going. I think Marilyn Payne's judging that. So I think we're going to go 27. That is my guessing for boys.
Yeah.
His score is coming. He's still in the arena. They're at 28.5. Well, that's quite surprising, but our judges weren't too far away. 195.5, 193, 191. And Boyd Martin goes second with Commando 3, meaning that it will be Cosby Green, the rookie, the first-timer, highly suspicious, will go into tomorrow's dressage in the lead. So let's have a look at the leaderboard. But we'll just look at Boyd as well. But the leaderboard after the dressage, the Brown Advisory leaderboard, Cosby Green won. Highly suspicious, 28.0, a beautiful test with the grey. Boyd Martin, Commando 3, USA 1-2, 28.5 in second. Third, Canada's Lindsay Traisnel, that will please her. Basie Rouge, 30.7. Harry Meade for Great Britain, away cruising, 31.24. Alexandra Knowles, Ali with Mooreswood, the Chestnut, 5th. Buck Davidson, Sorokaimer, a fabulous test from the former ex-racehorse, in 6th. Grace Taylor, Game Changer, in 7. David Doel, Galileo Nyamud, in 8th. Emily Hamel, Lillian Herdwood and Jessica Phoenix, 9, 10 and 11. Fluorescent Adolescent, first 5-star for the coloured. Well, we hope you enjoyed all of the coverage on the radios. We hope you're going to be back joining us tomorrow for more of the action. But I can see in the distance, quite a long way away, but in the distance at our Altoids Kiss and Cry area is the one and the only Frankie Tiriot-Stutz, and she's caught up with our overnight dressage leader.
Well, it's a great day here for Cosby Green, and we are very excited to get to award you the Altoids Ride of the Day, the Curiously Strong Mints, presented by our friends at Altoids, because a job very well done. You're able to hold on to that lead going into tomorrow's dressage. How does it feel?
It is quite surreal, to be honest, but I'm very happy.
Well, quite a good homecoming for you. Was the family proud, and how exciting is it to be back here in the U.S.?
They are extremely proud, and it means the world to me for them to be here, and yeah, it just feels good. Good to be home. Good start.
Well, there's a lot of dressage left and a lot of cross-country walking to get underway for a lot of these riders, so we'll kick it back to you guys to wrap up day one here from Maryland.
Yeah, thank you very much to Frankie. Let's go then to our Magna Wave Daily Pulse 3, 2, 1. In third place, it is Canada's Lindsay Traisnel and Basie Rouge. Now, these two really performed well, Sinead.
Yeah, very, very exciting for Team Canada and for Lindsay and Dreamy. Again, a horse she's had since it was 4 years old. Very exciting for them.
Boyd Martin and Commando 3, we thought they'd post a score in the 27s, not quite there, 28.5. He sits second with Commando 3 on that score of 28.5. But it was the first timer. As we just watched the end of Boyd's test, the beautiful flying changes that really kept those marks up there. But it was the first timer at the 5-star level. Highly suspicious, second 5-star for this lady, Cosby Green. The young ones are at the top in the 3-star and the 5-star. This was something very special to watch.
It was, and it was truly, truly deserved. It was not a fluke. She's been ramping up for this all season. She's been riding with her pants on fire over in England, and we're so pleased to have her back here in the States to tear up a trail around Maryland's 5-star.
Well, young guns are certainly doing their thing here at the 2024 Mars Maryland 5-star at Fairhill. That is our Magna Wave Daily Pulse 321. And a few moments ago here at Maryland, our roving reporter, Frankie Tiriot-Stutz, caught up with the one and the only, the girl that's lying in third. It is Lindsay Traisnel.
Lindsay, great go for you and a great go for Canada. And talk about what it felt to be able to go in and compete in that ring today.
Oh, it was awesome, and he just performs every time for me, so I'm really happy with him.
Well, with a partnership like this at the 5-star level, when you go in there, what does it feel like?
I mean, I know what he's gonna do. Like he's always the same for me. He's such a good boy, so I'm really happy.
Have you had a chance to look at the track?
Yes, I have.
And your thoughts?
I like it. I think we can do it. I just need to ride him properly. He's got it.
Well, making it sound easy, it will definitely be a lot to do out there, but a great start here to your week in Maryland, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, always lovely to hear from our riders. The crowds have been pouring in since the early hours, and they're really enjoying some retail therapy here at the Mars Maryland 5-Star, presented by Brown Advisory. And if you haven't been today, you've got no plans for tomorrow or the weekend, why not come and have a look at the trade stands, at what's going on? And here's what's coming up tomorrow. The dressage, it starts again nice and early. Bobby Upton in the 5-Star, Kohler, Tiana Kudre, Kankara's Girl, Tammy Smith, Ma Baum, Oliver Townend, Ballamore Class. Can he go one better? The 4th time here. He's been in the top 3 times. Joe Meyer, Harbin, Emma Klugman, Bronte Beach for Australia. All the nations here, Great Britain, Australia, New Zealand, Canada. Everybody wants to win the 5-Star here. Jenny Brannigan, Twilight's Last Gleam, Tim Price Falco, Jess Phoenix Wabbit, Harry Meade, Ed Hop Dumats, Boyd Martin sets a leg, and Colleen Loach, FE GoldenEye. There are 5-Star remaining competitors. Frankie Tira Stutzo, she has been all over the place. Let's go and see what she's up to.
Yeah, back down here in the final warm-up, guys, where I've caught up with Boyd Martin, our last that we just saw, and what an exciting horse this is for the future. Talk about Commando and how you felt with who he was today.
Oh, he's brilliant. I'm very, very pleased with him. It's his first 5-Star test, and he's just got amazing quality. He's such a big mover. It's hard to sort of keep him balanced, but he went in there and did all the tricks really well, and I think he's only going to get better and better from here.
Well, you're a former winner here, obviously before with On Cue, and you have some very exciting horses back here. But this venue, Boyd, you've watched it unfold really in your backyard, and what it means to the state of Maryland and this area as a whole.
Oh, mate, I love coming here. I bring the kids here for the Cecil County Fair, go on the Gravitron just over there and watch the rodeo, and then I get to come ride around here. It's a very special place, and I only live half an hour down the road, so it's a good one for us.
Well, it's a very special weekend indeed, because it will also be Ian Stark's swan song as a course designer, and your thoughts on what this weekend means to the sport, but also on that track.
I mean, I walked around it. It's sort of what you expect, big jumps and long way around, and it's going to be a real test. So the dressage is always important, but come Saturday, it's the course is really going to sort them out. So I feel like I got my horses prepared well, and I just got to get there and ride really well.
All right, well, it's going to be very fun to watch. Congratulations. Great start here for you in the 5-Star. It's a small but mighty division here this weekend, and we'll send it back to you guys in the booth to our Emmy Award-winning team one more time.
Oh, yes, we love that. Emmy Award-winning team here at the Mars Maryland 5-Star. Thank you very much, Frankie. It has been an incredible day of dressage. She used the words there about small and mighty, the 5-Star field. And it was something that William Shakespeare said, though she be but small, she is mighty. And we have seen some really impressive tests here already today, with some very exciting horses to come tomorrow. But let's go back and just have a recap. The 3-Star. Some really exciting young riders coming up through, and they're sitting in 1st and 2nd, ahead of Alison Springer, who sits in 3rd. But firstly, we saw a really super test from Kirstian, and that mare was so relaxed in the arena. Mamma mia. Mamma mia, didn't she go well?
Yeah, it was really fantastic, and I think that's one of the things that's so awesome about the 3-Star here, is that we really get to see the future of the sport, albeit the horses or the young riders coming up. And I think a lot of people started Googling who this girl is and who this horse is, because it was a fantastic ride. And even speaking to some of the judges, I think they were almost a little late to get the marks up because they weren't expecting it. And then afterwards, we all are going, what did we just watch? It was pretty impressive.
Yeah, and Sarah Schulman sits in 2nd. Then we go to the 5-star and Cosby Green, who came in here with that lovely grey, a brilliant performance. I mean, you were never in doubt. You look at some tests and think, oh, that's making me a little bit nervous. But they look so solid, so professional, so confident in there, and it really showed.
Yeah, it really worked. And, you know, she's been overseas. She's been with Tim and Janelle Price. She's been jumping around the biggest track. She's been riding with the best riders in the world. And she looks at home because she is back at home. So she's taking that wealth of experience and knowledge that she's gained, and she's back on home turf. And we heard her say it earlier. She feels comfortable. She's seeing friendly faces. She's enjoying the moment. It was really impressive to see.
Yeah, and, you know, again, we look at the horses that are up there after dressage. We saw when we started the 5-star, 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds. Great to see, you know, away cruising, 17 years old, making the trip across the pond to the Mars Maryland 5-star. It's testament to this event that's grown year on, with On Cue winning Coupe de Coeur du Devin, then last year with the wonderful Colorado Blue with Austin. It's all there for the taking. Absolutely. And we know that Ian Stark builds a big track. We've walked part of it. We're going to go and walk the rest of it shortly. But it's going to be very exciting come Saturday. Yes, the dressage is going to matter, but it's all going to come down to the bravery of the horses and riders come Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, we have some top riders coming tomorrow in the dressage. I mean, this might be a short-lived top of the podium for Cosby. Unfortunately, we're starting out with a bang with Bubby Upton, and then we have My Bomb, who's already won a 5-star. Yeah. We've got Oliver Townend coming in, who's won multiple 5-stars. So it is going to come in thick and fast, right? And then these guys going out on Saturday, the dressage will be forgotten about, and all we will be seeing are these horses galloping flat out across Ian Stark's swan song of a track, and it is a doozy. No swanning.
No, it is a doozy, and we've got a Scotty Dog as the last fence on the 5-star. It is all to play for. We will be bringing you all of that coverage live here, and we can't wait. More dressage to come tomorrow, as Sinead just said, and Bubby Upton with Cola will be first out tomorrow afternoon. With, again, you said My Bomb. Ballamore Class has won 5-stars. He is a horse that you would definitely not put your money on, and we can't wait to see his dressage test tomorrow, because he can really do a very, very smart test. But the man that has 2 horses in the 5-star is Great Britain's Harry Meade. Let's catch up with him.
Well, Harry, you're back here at Maryland this year, and just talk about why you chose to come back to this venue.
I love this event. I came here for the first year. They had the 5-star 3 years ago, and the second year. I didn't come last year, so I thought I'd better make up for that by bringing 2 horses this year.
Well, it's a small but mighty field, and it's going to be a big track come Saturday. A lot to do here this weekend, but we're thrilled because each one of you has a very decorated story. You've brought 2 horses across the pond. Tell us about them.
So my first horse is a wonderful, sort of well-recognised grey horse. He's a 17-year-old called Away Cruising. I've ridden him since he was a 4-year-old, so we know each other really well. He's just the coolest, nicest person, and he absolutely loves his job. It's his first time, actually. He's done loads of 5-stars. It's the first time out of Europe for him, and we thought it'd be a fun adventure. We always get such a warm welcome here, and it's a bit of a holiday. It's our last event of the season, and we just thought it'd be, you know, in his story of his career, this will be a fun adventure. And then the other horse I have is a young horse, the opposite end of the spectrum. He's a 10-year-old, a French horse, doing his first 5-star. He's only done 3-day events, three-day events in his life. He won a 3-star, and then he's done 2 4-star longs very well. I think he's a proper horse. I think he's always really impressed me. Very level-headed, real athlete, and I always say to people he's the best horse no one's ever heard of, because he's been kept a little bit under wraps. But I'm confident that I've always been confident he'll be one to shine the tougher the conditions get, and let's hope it's a tough competition and the cream gets a chance to rise to the top and we don't sink to the bottom.
Well, I definitely think that will be the case on Ian's final song here in this 5-star, and so far it's absolutely beautiful weather, picturesque. We're so excited to watch you this weekend. Good luck.
Thank you.
So it is the dressage standings. Cosby Green, highly suspicious, 28.0. Boyd Martin second, Commando 3, 28.5. Lindsay for Canada and Basic British in third, 30.7. Harry Meade, who we just caught up with there, away cruising, 31.2. The 17-year-old in fourth place. Grace Taylor, David Doel, Emily Hamel. Corvette Airlines is about to take off. That will be Saturday and Sunday. The show jumping on Sunday, the cross country on Saturday. It's all still to come here at the Mars Maryland 5-star. Tomorrow is dressage, more of the same. 9 o'clock for the 3-star, 2 o'clock for the 5-star, with all of the cross-country action on Saturday and show jumping on Sunday. The Maryland 5-star at Fairhill is grateful to have such invaluable support from the state of Maryland, and we extend our appreciation to the many agencies and departments who help make an event of this magnitude possible. Well, it's great to have the support here at the Mars Maryland 5-star. Dressage Day 1 is over. Tomorrow, 9 o'clock, 3-star dressage recommences. 2 o'clock for the 5-star. We have the Young Horse Championships going on, the 5-year-old. The Kids Zone opens at 8. We hope you can join us all again tomorrow. For now, from Sinead and myself, thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.
The Mars Maryland 5-star would like to thank Mars Equestrian and the Mars family of brands for their support. Mars Equestrian, Buckeye Nutrition, Ethel M Chocolates, Nutro, Pedigree, Antec, and Sound.
Embark on a culinary journey along the banks of the Upper Chesapeake Bay. Discover Cecil County, Maryland, where food and adventure bring people together. Pull up a chair. We're waiting for you. Visit us at discovercecil.com.
Sponsored in part by the Maryland Department of Housing and Community Development, implementing housing policy that promotes and preserves home ownership and creates innovative community development initiatives to meet the challenges of a growing Maryland. The Maryland Horse Library and Education Center in Reisterstown offers a special collection of over 5,000 equine-related volumes. Monthly events include panel discussions, author talks, and book signings. Visit marylandhorse.com to learn more.
No world is truly unchanging.
This is nature at its absolute finest.
Our daughter, she's gone missing. I should leave this alone.
But you won't.
He's doing things no one had ever done before, and that is astounding.
It's absolutely mind-boggling. Hi, I'm Ken Burns. Our next film travels outside of America and deep into the mind of the Italian visionary artist and scientist whose imagination knew no bounds. Watch Leonardo da Vinci right here on Maryland Public Television.